So thanks for coming today, you guys. I really appreciate it. I know your time's valuable and I don't want to waste any of it. So my name is Paul Sumich. I'm the Client Success Manager at Monster Graphics and Director of paulsumich.com. Married to a beautiful wife, Anita. Got two young kids, Alex, who's 7, and Kelsey, who's 4. I love cycling, mountain biking and triathlon. Competed internationally in all 3 of them and ridden for New Zealand in all of them as well. Took me 27 years to become a world champion when I thought I'd do it in 3. So I'm nothing if not persistent, and I hate losing. These days, though, the problem is I'm confusing my ambition for ability a little bit. And one last thing, I love a good coffee. So before someone buys what you have to sell, they have to know, like, and trust you. After my intro, now you know me a little bit. Like me, some of you will, and some of you won't. That's just the way it goes. I've found that if you try and be everything to everyone, then you end up being nothing to no one. Now the trust bit. You can't assume trust, you have to earn it. So here's what I'll do to earn yours. I'm going to ask you guys some questions to see how much I can help you. And please also feel free to jump in anytime with anything you want me to expand on. And then we'll talk about those questions. I'll share what I know, show you how it all ties in together, and tell you about a couple of services we have that I think can help you out with all of it. When I've earned your trust, that is, you trust that I can help you save time and be more successful online, then I look forward to doing business with you. After that, we'll have a quick break and then Tom will talk to us. Now, I don't know for sure what Tom's going to talk about today. He might agree with some of the things I've said, or he might say I'm full of shit. But either way, it's going to be great to hear from Tom today. All right, let's go. So quick question, you guys. Hands up. Who's got a business Facebook page? Good. Does anyone have the business manager set up with that page? Facebook Business Manager. Getting less. What about the Facebook Pixel? Is that set up and running? Okay, not many hands up now. That's good. It means I can help. The less hands that go up means the more people I can help. Who hasn't heard about the Pixel? Okay, that's no problem. We actually talk to business owners all the time that have heard of the Pixel, but they still have no idea what it is or what it does. So we won't spend too much time on this now, but basically the Pixel is a piece of code that sits on your website, gets activated every time someone with a Facebook account visits your site. But who cares? Well, with more than 90% of Kiwis over 15 years old active on social media daily and spending an average of an hour 53 minutes on there, you should care. It's just not true that social media won't or doesn't work for you. It's about making it work for you. An example is Allbirds shoes. You know, the New Zealand wool trainers? If you visit their site and then jump on Facebook, sooner or later you will see ads from Allbirds appear on your news feed. It's like magic, except it's not. They are following you around. It's a pretty powerful tool that we can help you set up. So when it's time to run your ads and retargeting ads, you will be following the right people around like magic as well. All right, back to hands up. What about Instagram? Who's on it? LinkedIn? You use it? Do you have your own website? Any blog posts happening on there? Regularly? Good. All of this online and social media stuff takes up a bit of time though, doesn't it? Okay, post on Facebook or take a coffee with a potential new buyer or seller. That's easy. Face-to-face wins out with someone every time. Then your website, Facebook, and other social media falls away a bit. What if you could do it all and for less time than it takes you now? We will get you sorted today by helping with some ideas around content, offer a service to save you hours a week with it, and get you thinking about how important your own website actually is. It's my favourite slide. Who has heard of the toothbrush test? Anybody know? 1. That's good. Tom, you don't count. I told you about it this morning on the way up. What am I on about? Okay. It's actually back in the day when Google was new and the founders Larry and Sergey wanted to buy new businesses to grow. They asked themselves that one simple question: does the business we're looking to acquire pass the toothbrush test? Does the product or service we're looking at get used at least twice a day? If the answer was yes, they'd buy it. They wouldn't even look at the financials or anything. So, cool story, bro. But how does it relate to you guys, right? Ask yourself how much of your current marketing you do would pass the toothbrush test. For you guys, think about, are you where people are hanging out at least twice a day? Remember, over 90% of Kiwis are spending an average of hour and 53 minutes split up multiple times a day on social media. There's no way anyone is holding a newspaper in their hands for 2 hours a day anymore. I'm not going to say today to drop everything that doesn't pass the toothbrush test. If it's working for you, then for sure keep doing it. But you need to be where your customers are spending more of their time, and that is online, that is social media. Those numbers represent the opportunity for you guys. 15 years ago, nothing we use multiple times a day even existed. So no phones, iPhones, smartphones, no Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, no Netflix, and for some of you, as tough as this is to hear, not even Tinder. Today, you need to be digitally native or you will die. Online first. Attract, engage, convert. Yes, but how do you do that? How many of you guys have heard of Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V? Hands up. Couple. He's a digital agency owner from New York. Tom's actually done a great interview with him, and I'll send you guys the link. It's worth a watch. Anyway, Gary V basically says, in order to attract, engage, and convert more people into clients, that every business needs to become and think like a media company first. I'm a media company that sells online services and websites. You guys are a media company that sells property. I do agree with this, but I think it's a bit of a mind shift for all of us. Too many businesses out there are guilty of me marketing. A lot of real estate Facebook pages, I was going to say a fancy word, I've audited, but I've basically just looked. I've looked at hundreds of Facebook real estate pages over the last few months. They're all just filled with new listing, recently sold, I'm the agent to work with, or some variation of that over and over again. That's the media part of social media, but it's missing the social part. It's not just real estate. Again, we talk to plenty of business owners about this, and they all struggle with what to post, so the default just becomes promotion of what you're selling. Think about the Advocate or the Herald. The articles are the interesting bits, that's the attraction. And then businesses put ads next to those articles. Otherwise, it would just be a warehouse flyer. You don't want to be a warehouse flyer. It's not about you, it has to be all about your clients or future clients. What do they need and how can you help them? Helping people will attract people. Everyone says to be on social media more, engage online, but seeing a new listing post pop up every week isn't going to engage with people. So what do you post? Who here likes fishing? Hands up. Tennis? Golf? All right, we'll go with fishing, eh? So Tim Smith, real estate agent out at the Heads, he loves fishing. So he starts posting on his business page, shot of his tractor towing the boat out to the water, shots of him fishing, interspersed with other stuff going on. You know, hey, Tim Smith posted a pic of that huge snapper he caught on Saturday and then said he'll share his fishing spot with us. What a great guy. They feel like they know you, like you, and trust you already before they've even sat down with you or met you. This is the real opportunity, as I see it, for you guys to embrace and leverage the power of social media. Don't be afraid to be you. Share what you love doing, stand out by adding your personality to the mix, and people will start to engage with you more. Tom, by the way, is fantastic at this. He's real. Online or sitting down with him, he's the same. You know, I had the pleasure of driving up with him today for a couple of hours, and it's the same, what you see is what you get. Online, in the car, you know, he's just, there he is. And that's the aim for all of us. All of this is why it's vital for you to have a regular online presence, your own website, and a clear strategy across different platforms. Become omnipresent, that's just a flash word for be everywhere, and you will win. Let's talk about how it all ties in together. Who is the mayor of Manu? Who's top in Tikipanga? Who owns Whangarei? Who's the master of Whangarei? Who's the queen of Kerikeri? Who's rocking the Rodney district? After my research, just quietly I'd say that's Stefan Meyer. You here, Stefan, today? Anyway, he's doing a good job. And I have to mention David Foote as well. He produced that Playhouse video for an auction coming up, and it's had over 12,000 views. That's huge, and I'll tell you guys about that, why that is later. So anyway, these titles are almost all up for grabs, and which one will yours be? Attract, engage, convert. Attract with interesting stuff. What if you did actually become the mayor of Manu, digitally speaking? Your own real estate Facebook page and website becomes the go-to place for everything going on in the neighbourhood. Hey, Jolt Cafe is open for dinner on Thursday and Friday nights with live entertainment. Their curry special is awesome. If I see you there, come over and say hi. I'll shout your drink. Manu School Hockey Muster starts in April. Let me know if your kids have some old sticks that they've grown out of, and I'll drop them off to the school for the new kids to have a go. The tennis club has a ladies' day every Wednesday and are looking for new members to come along for a social game. Sherwood Golf Course has 2-for-1 rounds on Friday if your tee time is before 12. I'm always up for a game, so let me know if you want to play this week. I'm not actually, I hate golf, but that's just an example. Sky Doherty's Garden Centre has a great sale this weekend. Now's the time to plant, blah, blah, blah. Extra bonus for the Sky Doherty's and the Jolt Cafe one, as you're actually promoting other local businesses for them. That's building equity as the go-to guy or girl in your neighbourhood. Stuff like that is interesting to people. It helps people. It attracts people. Who thinks that's all a bit much, though? Hands up. A couple. Okay, yesterday at Tom's presentation, there was a gentleman there called Steve Kober, and he's a $2 million agent, and he's focused on one little area in Auckland, Remuera. Yes, the house price is a little bit higher, but that's all he sells, Remuera, exclusively. His website is loveyouarea.co.nz, so note that down, check it out later. Sorry. Engage with people that share your interests. Yes, you can sell a house to anyone, but you'll build a better connection with people that share your interests, and they in turn will engage more with you. A little bit more about engaging online. Okay, so posting your own stuff is still only half of it. Who here spends time daily engaging on other people's social media accounts? Hands up. A few? Yep. Okay, let's talk real quick about a 50 cent a day strategy. No, you don't spend 50 cents a day on ads or anything like that. What you do is add your 2 cents worth to at least 25 other people's posts per day. Then over time, you can build up to $1 a day, 50 other people's posts. There are actually bots and crap out there that can automate this, but guess what? That's not you. It's not being real. Take the time to do this right and add your own comments to posts, help answer questions people have in groups you're part of, and eventually you will convert. This takes time, okay? Have patience. Upping your game on social media is not like flicking a switch. You have to give it 3 to 6 months at least before you turn the corner with it. But that's why you need to start today. But what do you start with? You start with process and consistency. You guys have processes in place for running open homes, taking the property to auction, sales and purchase agreements, don't you? All set up. And they're repeatable. Every open home gets run more or less the same. Every sale and purchase agreement gets handled a certain way. All right? How many of you have a process in place for your online efforts? Hands up. That's good. We can help. It makes sense to have a consistent process in place for your online activity as well as the rest of it, doesn't it? Okay. Good. Let's run through that now. First up is our tribe social and appointment setting. This setup lets you schedule content across multiple social media accounts, saving you hours per week with your online efforts. Set aside an hour or 2 a week to set up and schedule all of your social media for that whole week or month in advance. All done from one place, accessible via desktop and mobile, and with no need to log in to all the different platforms just to post your content. Each tribe social account also has unlimited user access, allowing you to add more people if you already have help managing your social media, or you want to add people later. You can also reply to comments on your posts from here as well, so you don't get sucked into Facebook land. Use this for work and look at cat pics later. Novak Properties in Sydney are actually talking about being open 24/7, a real actual agent on site all the time. I don't know about that. So how about the ability for people to book time with you anytime they want for any time that you are available? Wouldn't that be good? Okay, that's what our appointment scheduling does. You set your availability up in advance for the week or month, and then people just click on a time that works for them. They add in their details, which our platform automatically stores for you and sends out email reminders to both you and the client. So it syncs directly with your calendar, it adjusts your availability in real time, works as a link direct from your Facebook plus your own website. So it's appointments and building up your own database. It's great. It makes it as easy as possible for people to get in touch with you, where they are and whenever they want. We've all done the phone or text tag 6 times just to set a time for a coffee catch-up. Hey, John, those days are gone. You also need your own website. Why? I think the best reason is because agents sell properties, not agencies. A quick example, if the agency was more important than the agent, then when Eves started up here, all of those agents would have just stayed with LJ Hooker, right? Okay? The name doesn't matter as much as the people. Agents sell properties, not agencies. The next best reason to have your own website is to close the loop and keep it closed. What do I mean? All right, another question for you all. Who's run paid ads on Facebook or boosted a post? Hands up. Heaps. Who wants to tell me where your ad went? Where did you send people to when they clicked? Just shout it out. Your website? Anybody else? Messenger? Okay. Anybody? Another agent? All right. What if it's to your listing on OneRoof, TradeMe, realestate.co.nz? None of that is ideal, and that's actually insane. I want to talk about why that is. When you are listing a house, you are selling it in competition with other properties, not in isolation, right? So to be sending people that click on your ad to anywhere other than your own website, or at a pinch, your agency's website, you are literally paying people to see all the other listings that are up right now. And because those big platforms all have the Facebook pixel set up, they will then retarget people with ads for all the houses that match your listing. E.g., I clicked on your ad, it took me to your listing on TradeMe for a house in Manu for a 3-bedroom for $650K. I will now get ads from TradeMe or OneRoof or whatever for all of the homes in that area, in that price range, not just your listing. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Stop giving away your hard-earned buyers to everyone else. With your own website, you own all the data that comes to it. You are in control. Run your ads on Facebook, boost your posts, but send them to your website. Some of you during your career might change agencies. What data do you get to bring with you if you move? Your site is going to help you build your own personal brand and not someone else's. You got your website, now you want to drive people to it. So as a business, one of our goals should be to get as much traffic as possible to our own websites. Some of that traffic will convert and become real estate leads, and the rest can be retargeted with Facebook ads at very low cost until they become leads for you at some point. You must drive traffic. We do that through social media, through Facebook. But you know, we've talked about the same stuff happening again, just listed, blah, blah, blah. But I've actually created a guide for you guys with 45 Facebook post ideas for real estate pros. It's your roadmap to being more social on social media. Make them your own, post every 3rd day, and that's over 4 months worth of content for you. With not one I'm the best agent post. Then just rinse and repeat. Blend in some promotional posts for sure, but go easy on it. Instagram, it's all about the hashtags. I've made the ultimate hashtag guide with over 5,000 hashtags across all sorts of topics, along with some strategic tips to help you out on there. By word of mouth, just send people to your website. Hey, go to paulsumich.com. I've got some cool stuff here. Click on RE freebies. People, including me, will tell you to have a regular blog post on your website that you update at least monthly. But what do you write about? I've got you covered there as well. I've created over 200 blog post ideas for you guys. One a week, that gives you 4 years worth of topics. If you did one a month, that's your next 16 years sorted. We also do it by running ads on Facebook. Who's heard of lead magnets to attract people to you? Hands up. Who's not sure about that? Hands up. Okay, I'll give you an example of a great lead magnet. Come and spend a morning with Tom Panos. You know, that worked, filled a room. I didn't need to use Facebook as I was just able to email you guys, but if Tom will do this again with me somewhere else, then I'd be all over Facebook with it. Lead magnets are basically, what information do people want? How can you help them? What value can you give up front? I've produced a list of 12 real estate lead magnets to get you guys started, along with one complete example all mocked up. You still not sure? How about if you saw an ad pop up on Facebook for a travel agent? Flights to Fiji and 5 nights accommodation for $8.99 per person. It's just the same old shit. We've all seen that hundreds of times, haven't we? Next. What if that same travel agent has done some homework and wants to target families with young kids? So now she puts an ad out there that says, the ultimate travel guide to Fiji with kids. Where to go and what to do for 5 days so no one loses their mind. Click below to grab your free copy. If you have kids and want a holiday, which ad are you going to click on? By producing content like this, you are answering people's questions they have around real estate and property, making you the expert in your field and providing heaps of value up front, so that when it comes time to buy or sell a house, then naturally you are the person they will come to. This is the system to generate leads online for professional agents, a process in place to be more active and engaging on social media, plus your own website to have control of the leads that all the work you are going to do online will bring you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Tom Panos.
Thank you so much. So, can I get an idea? Has anyone ever heard me speak before live or watched a video or anything? So, nearly everyone knows each other. So, you know, I was just thinking about, I was doing a presentation 2 days ago for a company, Matt LaHood, the agency in Melbourne. He comes up to me just before I'm about to start. He said, Tommy, mate, we've got a big crowd here. Mate, you can see we've got 200, 300, 400 people here. But I'm just letting you know, just giving you the heads up. Just be very mindful, you know, like, you know, there's a few girls there, and I'm just thinking, you know, where's he heading with this, right? And he goes, so just be mindful, you know, we've got a couple of girls that are religious here. I said, that's good, I'm fucking religious too, mate. And he sort of stuck for words. He goes, yeah, try and not too many F words, you know what I mean? I said, all right, buddy. So, you know how I speak. I speak, you know, the way I speak to Paul driving here, the way I speak to, you know, my staff, the way I speak on one-on-ones, it's the same. I just feel like being the same person to everyone, whether it's the street cleaner or the CEO of an organisation, is so much easier. And that's why for me, social media is such a great opportunity, because it allows people to get a... I mean, to me, social media now is the database of 2019. So if I went over and listed, you know, let's assume I went to Jono's place to look at his house and he's not coming on the market for 3 months, I would probably say to him, Jono, let's stay connected on Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, and he would get a backstage view of what I'm really like. Because if you really think about it, listing presentations are bullshit. It's like an interview. You tell them what they want to hear. Everything's good. You know, pretty much all it is has got commission breath all over it, right? Like, so, but with social media, your true authenticity comes out. And what happens is people are getting a backstage view of what you're really like all the time. I think you're blessed to be working in communities where the word can go around really quickly. Like a couple of tips I want to leave you with so you can start getting more listings and making more sales. Every time you have a property that is sold, you need to simply pull out your mobile phone. It's as simple as this. Take out your mobile phone. You ask the owner, do you mind you give me a 10-second testimonial, reference, whatever you like it. Just tell us what you thought of dealing with us, what it was like. Pull out your mobile, record it. You go straight to upload Facebook. You tag the vendor in the process. And all you say to the vendor, would it be okay, would it be a ridiculous idea for you to actually just press the share button? Now the power of that 10-second process is quite incredible, because what actually happens is if they've got 200 friends on Facebook, they, in their own words, have just actually told 200 friends, I've just sold my house, I was happy with the agent, I sold it in 43 days, I'm happy with the price, I recommend this agent. And I'm going to say to you, in the world that we operate in 2019, which is consumerism, it's what other people say to other people that matters. It's why people go to TripAdvisor and other websites. They analyse what other consumers are doing. And nothing is more powerful than a recommendation from family and friends, and Facebook is recommendation on steroids. So 100% I would be doing it. And look, and I wouldn't get too, like a lot of real estate agents get too concerned saying, hey, you know what, I'm not comfortable with video, it's not me, because I urge a lot of agents to, use live stream. Does anyone watch Sunday Night Rant? Can I get a show of hands that I do? Right, I've got to tell you, that's a simple process of me just using a mobile phone. I'm so successful that I do a TV show in Australia on Sky News on real estate every Monday. I, this year, stopped doing that show as of January because the views I get on my social media is higher than I was getting on viewers on Sky Business. The game's totally changed. No one sits at home watching TV, scrolling through the commercials anymore. People have got an iPad or an iPhone, they're sitting on their sofa. This thing here is a damn weapon. It is a damn weapon. Not only in the calls that you make, but the way, to me, it's got the best camera. How many things can you actually just take a photo and upload? You don't, videos, like you don't have to go to, no offense, because I do use a video company to do high quality videos for certain things. But for most of my videos, I like to shoot and upload in one moment. And I'm going to urge you, as Paul said, you're a media company in 2019 that's trading as a real estate agent. And never forget it. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. You need to understand that concept. And everyone sitting in this room here is a brand. And brand is what people talk about you when you're not in the room. And everything you do is either building or destroying brand equity in you. This is just the golden opportunity in, the last 20, 30 years. You've got an incredible opportunity to get a tribe that's got your vibe. And that's what I love you to do, to get, all you need, like realistically, you need around 500 people that like to get stuff from you and to be connected. And you're set in real estate. And this old, cold approach where you go off and you door knock strangers, hey, I'm in the area, I just wanted to see whether you're interested in, selling your house. Like, all that is expired. People are time poor. They're socially media savvy. And by the way, what I'd like to show you is they hate your fucking guts. They hate you. They hate you. They don't want to talk to you, right? They really don't want to talk to you anymore. They hate you, and the reason that they hate you is that they think that all you want is their money. And what consumers want is, like, if you think about why Uber has become a success, is they took away all the shitty bits of taxis. And they just said, let's make this easier. What did people hate? People hated waiting for 20 minutes. Sort that problem out. People hated getting into a dirty cab that smelled. Let's sort that problem out. They got to be newer cars. People hated the fact that once you got out to pay, that the guy used to pull out his EFT machine. Oh, sorry, it's not connected. I've run out of receipt paper. Oh, it's all too hard. Let me just get on the 3G for a moment. Oh, and then you'd pull out money and you'd have $20 and the fare was $13 and you think, do I give this guy a tip, right? So what they did is they got rid of all those pain points. And in real estate, what people are dying for is to deal with the agent that's the easiest to deal with. So that's a great question. Are you the easiest agent in town to deal with? Are you the easiest agent down to deal with? And I thought to myself, here are a couple of things that you've got to look at. How easy are you to deal with? Do you have dominance online? Have you got price guides on all your stock? I mean, is everything that you've got available, a floor plan, video? Like now in Australia, good real estate agents are actually providing pest and building reports up online, making it easy for consumers. Are you SMSing, sold prices to buyers that have come through the property, educating them? I mean, can I ask you, what is the two things? When you go out to a listing presentation, what's the two things that the vendor wants to hear most at a listing presentation when you go out there? Price? And commission, right? They're the things, like deep down they're thinking, what do they think my house is worth? And what's the commission? And what do we do in real estate? We think to ourselves, they're the two things we won't give them. We're just going to right? We're just going to try and use these Amway lines and sort of trick them and just say, Oh, so what do you charge? You walk in, I said, what do you charge? Oh, well, that comes in my 7th part of my listing presentation, right? Right? So I think what you've got to start doing is understand, hey, be a real estate agent, but think like the consumer. Think like the consumer. Couple of key points I want you to start thinking about. Stop selling and start solving. Stop selling and start solving. That's what people are dying for. A couple of other things that I'd like to touch on, and that is that right now, I think you need to nail this into your head. Low offers, they blame the market. No offers, they blame the agent. Never forget that. Low offers, they blame the market. No offers, they blame the agent. And right now, you know it, like the party appears to have ended in real estate. You know, Sydney and Melbourne, 20% reductions. Auckland hasn't happened yet, but less buyers coming through. And what actually happens is it filters out. Now, there's a saying, when the tide goes out, that's when you work out who's been swimming with their swimmers on and who's been swimming naked. And I think the truth is about to come out soon. We're going to start seeing who has been faking it for the last 2 to 3 years. Because if you've been an order taker and not a deal maker, you're about to get smashed in this market. Because this marketplace needs people that have got the ability to get a vendor that's up here and a buyer here to be grinded out. And one of the things you've got to get good at is what I call high level management service. So I've got a template there I'm going to leave you with, and every property that you list needs to go through this template. You put the address on the left, and each week they receive one letter, which is a written report, and an offer. Why? Because offers shape people's perceptions. Now, a lot of people say, but Tom, we're not even getting any offers of buyers. How do you get an offer of a buyer? So, what's your first name again? Stephanie. So Stephanie's a buyer. Stephanie comes along. Stephanie, come on up. You're thinking to yourself, fuck, I got myself involved now, right? So Stephanie, come on up. So I'll just give you a couple of role, I'll give you a few. I think some role plays are really good on real life. Like tomorrow, when we say role plays, this is my life. Tomorrow I'm going to be at 10 auctions. 10 auctions tomorrow, and I get there like about 5 or 10 minutes beforehand, right? And I just want you to watch some of the dialogue and language I'm using on a Saturday to help create listing opportunities. So Stephanie comes in, you're a buyer, right? I'm an agent at an open house, okay? So just have a look at the conversation. So I've got my clipboard here or an iPad. Hi, how you going?
Hi there.
Can I just get your name?
Stephanie Whangarei.
Stephanie, great. And Stephanie, just a mobile number?
021
Yeah.
191
Yeah.
9232.
Beautiful. Have you sold from where you've come from yet?
No, I have to sell.
You have to sell.
I'm looking at the market at the moment, seeing what's out there.
Okay, fantastic. Beautiful. Now, come in and have a look, and when you come back out, I'd love to have a chat and just get your views on this house. I let her go through, right? What does the average agent that's not very well educated, that's got commission breath, they pounce. Oh, she's got a property. Well, let me get into the house. Oh, can I come and see your house? That's what they do. What do smart agents do? Hey, they just are neutral. Serve her as a buyer. She's come through as a buyer, serve her as a buyer. So she comes through, comes back out. So Stephanie, what do you think of it?
I think it's very expensive for what it's got to offer compared to others around.
Sure. Okay. And can I ask you, what are like 3 things you won't compromise on your next purchase?
Has to have 4 bedrooms, has to have a quarter acre, has to have 3 bathrooms.
Okay.
And I want that for 500,000.
Okay. Yeah, we could, I mean, in the right area. Are you interested in going to Zambia? No, we've got one coming up there that would suit. So let's go back into this conversation. Now listen to this. This is how you create a listing opportunity. Hands up if you've ever got buyers that have actually got a property to sell. Listen to this conversation. Stephanie, okay, we've got a list in our office called VIP Buyers Pre-Marketing Opportunities. This is before they hit Trade Me, before they hit realestate.co. what we do is we know that these people are looking out for good value, and we've got a lot of our smart investors that say, if you've got a great buy, let us know, we can act on it straight away. Now what I'd like to do is see whether you want me to put you on that list.
I don't really like doing emails, so if it's emails, then no.
Okay, what would your preference be in contact?
I don't mind doing a text message.
A text message? Okay, fantastic. Well, I can put you on that list. Now, the one thing I will say, Stephanie, is for me to actually find out exactly for what you're looking for, we actually spend 10 minutes with you and we do a full diagnostic. Today's a little bit difficult because we've got open houses and I've got to make sure that I'm here for these people. We normally do these buyer assessments on a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. It takes about 10 minutes. What's better for you, Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday?
Friday.
Friday? Okay. I can tell we're going to really have a great relationship. So we'll do Friday. And what time do you prefer? 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
No, 11.
11 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, that would suit me.
Yes, that's better because at 8 o'clock I wanted to be watching the footy, so that actually suits me right now. Right, so 11 o'clock. Now, we normally do it at your place. I don't expect you to come to my office. What's the address?
8 Balmoral Court.
Beautiful. Okay, well, I'll see you on Friday at 11 o'clock. We'll do the 10 minutes there, and then I'll make sure that I will never, ever harass you on a property that doesn't suit your needs.
Okay,
I'll see you at 11 o'clock. Give a round of applause.
Now, guess what? That's step one of me getting into her house, meeting her, and that is the beginning of a listing presentation, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because when the 10 minutes I'm there talking to her about what she's looking for, guess what? One of the things she's going to ask me before I leave the house.
What do you say? This is weird.
Yeah, you're here anyway. Guys and girls, do not underestimate the power of buyers for listing opportunities. Do not underestimate the power of open for inspections. Let me give you 5 or 6 words and phrases I'm going to be using tomorrow at the 10 open houses I'm going to be at. Here they are. The one that I used there with Stephanie was, have you sold from where you've come from yet? It's a lot better than saying, have you sold your house? Do you have to sell? Have you got a home to sell? It's, have you sold from where you come from yet? The next one is this. Use this all the time. Hi, you buying or browsing today? Love it. Buying or browsing? Oh, we're browsing. We're just up the road. You know, this and that. Or sometimes I'll even say something like this. You know, sometimes the very people are protected. Oh, don't worry about us. We're just looking for our son. And I'll just say, good luck. I hope you find him. Have a look. Right? So I try and have fun with people at open houses, right? You buying or browsing? Have you sold from where you come from yet? Let me give you another one that really surprises me on getting leads, and that is, how's the sale of your place going? I can't get over the amount of people just say, oh, it's not on the market yet. That's useful to know. It's not on the market yet. Another great one I use is this. Hi, are you researching buying or selling today? Another one that I use, can I ask you, is this going to be your first, second or third purchase in the area? And anyone that says second or third, I know, owns a property in the area. So I've got to say to you, get really, really good at the questions that you ask. Get really, really good at the questions you ask. In fact, I would say to you that most people that succeed in real estate just ask better questions. I'm not a big believer in door knocking. Never liked it. I much prefer people coming to me. The approach that Paul is using, the lead magnet, where you get people come and develop a relationship. I much, much prefer it. And I have to say to you, social media to me is just like, I just can't believe. I keep getting paranoid that Mark Zuckerberg is going to wake up one day and he's going to say, that's it, stuff these pricks. Look at Property Press, look at what they charge, look at what Real Estate and Trade Me charge. That's it, we can't let this party keep going on. It's just too good to be true at the moment. I mean, I've been blessed. I've been able to build a multi-million-dollar business using 2 platforms that have come in that have allowed me to create a brand, and that is Facebook and Insta. I'm absolutely blessed. Couldn't have done that. Couldn't have done that 10, 15 years ago. 10, 15 years ago, you had to be a big multinational company. You go to a TV channel, buy all this ad space. You know, you needed to have money to do that. Now, everyone is a media company.
Everyone is a media company. So I thought what I'd do is share with you, I would urge you, and by the way, if I ever want to get an offer of someone, I won't expect that person to give me an offer. I will ask for an offer. And can I just pretend Stephanie was now Stephanie, pretend you sort of half like this house. Pretend it was like it sort of met your needs, but it wasn't perfect. I'm not going to waste this opportunity to get price off you. So listen to the question I would ask. Stephanie, what do you think of it? Be nice and loud so everyone can hear you. What do you think of this property?
I think it needs a lot of work, and I think for the price it's a bit too much.
Okay. Can I ask you, what price on a contract represents good value for you?
I guess probably about 400,000.
Right. How did you arrive at that number?
Well, just based on what I had to do, I think it's probably 50,000 at least, and then I wouldn't want to overcapitalise.
Okay. Well, look, it's unlikely that offer's going to get accepted, but what you're saying to me at 400, it becomes a no-brainer for you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I take that number and I go see the owner, and I actually say, hey, at the moment we've had 20 people look at your property over the last 3 weeks, and we've got an offer of 400 from, you know, a girl called Stephanie. And even though the owners are going to turn around and say, no, you know what? In 2 weeks' time, when you've got 470 looks a lot better than 400 because they have a reference point. So I've got to say, some of the words that you can use to try and get some offers is, what price on a contract represents good value for you? At what number does this become a no-brainer for you? Right? At the moment, city's become so hard that a lot of the things that buyers are saying to me is like, oh, Tom, but haven't you been reading the media? Prices are dropping. Market's cool. I'll just say something like this to them. Smart buyers are buying now, the rest are reading newspapers. So basically says to them, you're smart if you buy, you're not smart if you don't. A couple of other pieces of dialogue that I think is extremely useful is, have you ever had a situation where you list a property, in the first week you get this incredible offer? It's just like amazing money. And you think, wow, look at this, can't believe it, more than I thought. And you go over to the owner, and the owner says, good start. That's encouraging. Oh, wow, that's good, early days. And you're sitting there thinking, hey, we just won the lottery. Oh, that's pleasing. And then you say, well, I think you should actually accept it. And they say, oh, but it's only been on the market for a week. Well, I think a nice thing to respond back to is say, hey, it's not how long you've been on the market, it's how long the buyer has been in the market. So, words, by the way, whenever I'm using all the dialogue and language I use, hardly anyone would actually even think it's a script or dialogue. Because occasionally, I mean, the way I speak, I occasionally put the F word in it as well. Right? I just speak the way I normally would. Like, I'll give you an example of this. Like, you know, I had, you know, a few weeks ago, I'm about to start an auction, and I'm just there looking at the property, and there's a guy next to me, and he just says, what a piece of shit this is. Look at it. I walk up. Yeah, you reckon? He goes, look at it. You wouldn't put your dog in this. And I just responded back, the best thing we could do with this property, light it up and burn the fucker. And he's just staring at me, and he goes, I like you. I said, you local? He goes, live up the road there. I said, wow. Okay, can I ask you, at what price would you be a seller? Straight out question. At what price would you be a seller? He goes, had to be 800,000, mate, or something like that. I said, listen, let's do this auction, and we'll pop into your house and have a look at it for you. We go on over, we have a look. I said, what's your time frame? He said, my lease runs out in 3 months. He goes, yeah, I'm the tenant here. So you've got to make sure you're talking to the right people, right? Yes. I think ultimately I think that we're in a business of that. I think, is there a Macca's nearby here?
Mm-hmm.
Three of them. People go to Macca's for speed. It's quick.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the best food in the world, but it's quick. 5 minutes, in, out. So you actually look at what's their product, what's their core product? It's speed. In real estate, our core product is a thing called trust. And the reason I use that image up there is that jar with those marbles. Trust is an interesting thing. Trust happens over a period of time. As Paul was saying, frequency builds trust. Frequency builds trust. And the way I look at it is, everything you ever do with someone is like putting a marble in the jar. At the end of it, when there's a lot of marbles in the jar, you have a lot of trust. And I think that a lot of people struggle in real estate because they don't want to play the long game and keep putting marbles in the jar. For me, one of the great things about social media, it allows you to actually build trust with someone over a period of time. Because every time they go onto your Facebook, Insta or LinkedIn, they're actually seeing you as your authentic you. Not that fake website profile page that you've got up there saying that you like going to Rotary and you love the community, and one of the favourite things is that you volunteer at the local hospital, and then they look at your Facebook account and they notice that you get smashed 4 times a week. So they think, you know, how efficient is this person, right? So what I'd like to say to you is, you've got to start looking at your social media account as an opportunity to build trust. And I believe that you need to have a set and forget marketing plan. I met Paul for the first time today. I've had no interaction with Paul. We're driving here and I've asked him a little bit about, you know, what this product is. And I have to say to you, like, I keep thinking to myself that what is one of the biggest problems that real estate agents have, and that is that they should be spending their time talking to hot buyers, talking to hot sellers, and looking for new vendors, right? That's what they should be doing. Hot buyers, current sellers, potential vendors. And they should have a marketing plan that is set and forget, that is happening, that is automated. And it looks like that product, Tribal Social, right? That's the one that I was looking at, and I'm thinking to myself, just imagine on the first day of every month, you turn around and you just say, this is what I want happening in social. And it's like you've got this free PA that's doing it for you. And I think to myself, agents need it, because I can't help the amount of real estate agents that sit around either on a database entering stuff into the data, or doing some photocopying, or, you know, trying to take that perfect photo on their mobile phone, right, so they can post it there, that has been edited with every bit of software there is that makes you look like you've got a six-pack, right? And I think ultimately, deep down, the tips that I'm going to give you on social media is authenticity, right? People will pick real and rare over fake and perfect any day of the week, because we've got a world here. We've got a world here that is always trying to push people to be someone else. I'm telling you, the way to win business is to be you. There is no better you than you. No one can beat you at that game. So I urge you to, you know, and I'm really tempted to actually, might even do a quick live stream here, just to show you. You check my Insta or Facebook or whatever I use now, you check it in around 48 hours and you'll see that, you know, probably get, you know, 5,000 to 10,000 views. I just can't believe the return on value, and I just dread the day that I'm going to wake up and in the financial review, Mark Zuckerberg's going to say the party is over. we are not a charity, we're a media company. And they are a media company that at the moment represents incredible value. A couple of other things that I'd like to touch on, and that is some of the scripts at the moment that I think you've got to be with your buyers, because I think really great agents in this market are dealing with Class A buyers. Buyers are going to buy within the next 30 to 60 days. So let me give you a couple of scripts with a buyer. When you're talking to a buyer, here are 3 or 4 questions. Can I ask you, what's the best home you've seen so far? Second question is this. What stopped you from buying that one? That's going to tell you how hot they are as a buyer. Another great question. What have you offered on so far in the market? What homes have you offered on? Another good question. Another great question is this. What are the 3 things you won't compromise on the property you're going to buy? Another good question. One of the, Jono, you want to come up and role play, or you want to hold the camera there?
We're recording it as well, so we'll send you a copy of the whole thing.
Yeah, Jono will probably want to insert himself in the video and turn around and say he was the keynote speaker in the local area. Yeah. All right? Jono. So Jono, here's the situation. Jono is calling me up because he's thinking of selling. Listen to the language that I use here. You're thinking of selling. You see our boards around. You've been seeing some of the stuff on social media. Listen to this conversation. You're the vendor, I'm the agent. Ready? Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Jono.
Is that what fucking happens on an appraisal? Let's start again. Hello, can I help you?
Hello, this is Jono.
Hello, Jono.
Hello.
How you going?
Very well, and yourself?
Good. How can I help you today?
Hey, how can I help you?
Now, you're the vendor.
Okay.
I'm the agent. It's really important to know who you are. Because if you get that wrong, you're shit at the listing presentation. I'm going to give you a prize for that. Ready? So you're thinking of selling me, call me up. Jono, how can I help you?
Yeah, look, I'm wanting to get you around to have a look at my property.
Okay, great. Jono, can I ask you, who referred you to me?
I've seen you on social media.
Okay, first question you asked, who referred you to me? You want him to think, hey, this guy must be pretty good. He thought everyone that comes through is through a referral. Must be good. Oh, social media? Facebook, is it?
Insta.
Insta, beautiful. Now, Jono, can I get the address of your property?
299 P. Whangarei Road.
Okay, oh, good spot there. Now, can I just ask you a couple of questions? How many bedrooms is the property?
4.
4 bedrooms. How old is it?
1985.
Okay. Kitchen and bathroom, updated or original?
Modern.
Modern. Okay. And Jono, how big is your block?
600 square.
Okay. And Jono, what prompted you to get me to come out and look at it now? Why now?
I like the way you operate. I've seen what you can do, and we want you for our property.
Okay. And can I ask this question? Once you sell, where are you going to go to?
We haven't decided.
Right. Okay. Have you got a time frame?
Not really. We
No.
do have a camper van.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, that's good. Now, Jono, what is the best day of the week to see you? Today, tomorrow?
Today.
Today? 4 o'clock? 5 o'clock?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Now, a couple of other things, Jono. You know that number 277 sold about 3 months ago? Did you see that one?
No.
Okay, so that sold for $450,000 and it was similar size to yours.
Did you see the property?
Yes, I did.
What was it like?
Well, when I come out, I'm going to show you brochures of that property and all the other properties. I've actually just brought your property up on CoreLogic RP data. During this time, I've bought a minute and I've gone into CoreLogic RP data and now I'm looking at the details. And I say,
Jono, you're in fact on 633 square metres. That's the exact size block, which is a good size block. I'm also looking at the facade, looks spectacular, so aesthetically it looks good. RP data is telling me that it's somewhere between 450 and 550. Now, my intention is to bring properties that have sold in the last month or two around that range. Is that a wide enough spread for us to be looking at?
Sure.
Did you see? What I did is I've used CoreLogic RP data. I also fed him a number about another one that sold, and I listened to what he says. He says sure. Now some people are going to turn around and say, oh no, I think maybe a little bit more than that, right? So what you're doing is you probe for the price now. It just helps so much to have an understanding on what he's thinking. And trust me, everyone has a number, right? Now, listen to the rest of this conversation. Jono, so can I just ask, have you ever sold a property before?
No.
First one?
Yes.
Okay. When you're looking at real estate at the moment, where do you look? What do you look?
We look in the property guide.
Property guide, okay. What websites do you look at?
We are really only looking at the paper.
A paper. Okay, fantastic. Because what I want to find out is, this person, what's he looking at when he's looking at real estate? Because he means that he's going to be open to that kind of marketing when you offer it. So all I'm doing now is I'm diagnosing before I prescribe. I'm just asking questions. Now, Jono, I will see you later on today. By the way, do you have a pre-existing relationship with an agent in the area?
We have, but we haven't heard from them.
I like to ask that question. Do you have a pre-existing relationship with an agent in the area? You know why? Because there is some vendors that actually what they do is that they already like someone, they're close to them, but they call another 2 agents over just to reference check commissions and the price. And this is a good time to be asking that, to find out where they stand. All right, Jono, fantastic. I look forward to seeing you this afternoon. And just give me your email. Get it? And then I'll say, I'm going to send you 3 things. I'm going to send you the last 10 sales we've made, names, address, contact details. They're our references. Feel free to contact them. In addition to that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a short 60-second video of who we are and what we do, and I'm going to send you a blank copy of the agency agreement that's required in New Zealand. I'm not being presumptuous. All I like to do is to give you all the information up front. Look forward to seeing you then. Beautiful. Okay, give him a round of applause. So what do? You need to master the pre-list conversation. It just helps you so much to be able to go in knowing what he wants. Sometimes a lot of stuff comes out of these conversations. Sometimes you hear him say, yes, we have sold before, we went to auction, it was a disaster, we hate auctions. Well, that's useful to know, correct? So, gang, master that conversation, the pre-listing conversation. Gang, how are we going with time? What time did we tell these guys we're finishing?
About 45 minutes.
Oh, we got 45? All right. Hey guys, can I ask you, are you getting anything out of this conversation this morning? Show of hands. Yeah? Okay. So you want to keep going? Yeah. Just get a coffee or something. Right? Right? Anyway, so a couple of other things. I'm just having a look here. I just can't get over, I had sitting at the airport. All I did was I went and got a cup of coffee. It's really interesting. I get a cup of coffee and I've got my bags, right? I'm holding it. And what I wanted to do is just get myself sorted. So there's a table there, right? It's a pretty big table. It's bigger than this table. And there's a lady there. She's sitting there, right? And she's sort of reading the paper. And all I did is I put my cup down there, right? Do this and that. And she goes, oh, excuse me. That's my table. Sorry? She goes, like, I was here first, so I put my stuff on the table, it's my table. I said, so does that mean if I put my coffee cup on your car becomes my car? She's just staring at me.
I think you're weirdo.
I don't know, but she left the table. I don't even know why I thought about that. I got to tell you a very
Ernest Hemingway is a really great author. In 1915, he wrote a book, and there's two characters in the book. And at one scene, they're at a bar, and they're drinking some cognacs. One's got cognac, the other one. And one says to the other, "So how did you go bankrupt?" And the other one just looked at him and he said, "Gradually, then suddenly." That was a light bulb moment for me. I read it 4 lines, you know. I read it the first time, I didn't get it, then the second time, and then I thought to myself, you know, how profound. Everything in life happens slowly, then all of a sudden, if you think about it. Like a heart attack. A heart attack doesn't happen on the 20th of February 2019. A heart attack happened because every day you had sausage rolls for breakfast, right? And you had bacon and egg rolls for lunch, and then what happened is you never did any exercise, and then you had a lot of stress, so you didn't manage stress, and you slept shit, and that happened for 15 years, and then one day you had a heart attack. Everything happened slowly, then suddenly. A divorce just doesn't happen in a day. A divorce happened for 10 years. The conversations that you had, or not conversations you didn't have, the conversations you didn't have. And then all of a sudden, she wakes up and says, "That's it, I'm not prepared to put up with this anymore." So I've got to say to you, success in real estate happens slowly, then quickly. And I think a lot of people struggle in real estate because they don't want to play the long game. I think a lot of people struggle in real estate because they want to do something now and get a reward now. I think it reminds me of those young guys that go to a gym. Have you ever seen young guys that go to a gym? Like, they'll go off, they'll do like 5 sit-ups, and then they'll casually just slowly walk up towards the mirror when no one's watching. Right? And what they'll do is they'll just slowly lift up their shirt and look in the mirror, and you look at them and you feel like saying, "Hey, it doesn't work after 4 sit-ups, right?" So I'm going to, urge you as people that have made a decision to spend their lives listing and selling real estate to understand, play the long game and stop keeping score every moment of the day. And I think that a lot of people, what they do is they run what I call an energy-based business. I'm just a really big believer in running a process-driven business, right? I have to tell you, I'm blessed that social media has allowed my business to tick over the last 12 months. I'll give you a backstage view of what my life has really been like. In January last year, I had a cancer relapse. I've battled cancer for a number of years. I first got diagnosed in 2006, stage 4, like your mum. And I was told that the 5-year survival rate for stage 4 B-cell lymphatic cancer is 10%. So I was very pleasant to know that in 2011 I was still alive and breathing, and I thought that was the end of it. And I've had a number of relapses since then. I'm currently at the tail end of treatment. I had treatment on February the 2nd and 3rd, chemotherapy. It knocks me around a lot. I disappear off the face of the earth, but what you don't see is me posting, chilling in the chemo lab. I don't post that. I share this story with you because, and in addition to that, so I get diagnosed in February, I go into treatment, I respond, my doctor says we're about to start chemo, then my brother calls me having a stomach ache. He's the closest person in my life, 43, he was my best friend, and he had a stomach ache, ended up being stomach cancer, and at 43 years of age, he died on August the 13th, and I'm totally rattled, I'll be honest with you. I haven't had a proper night's sleep since the day I buried my brother on August the 16th. I wake up at around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and all I remember is the last 5 weeks, 3 of those in palliative care with him, where he went from being 100 kilos to 40 kilos, went from looking like incredible good looking guy to looking like an old man, and I keep recreating those thoughts and I struggle with getting them out of my head. And so he passes away, and then I go back into treatment, and you know, like just one of those events in a year rattles you, but to actually have had to cope with them at the same time. But one of the things that I've been blessed with a higher being, the Creator, is I've always had the ability to focus on the one reason why things are going to work and not the 10 reasons they won't. Some people call that positive thinking. I mean, I still remember when I got diagnosed in 2006, I simply didn't participate in the diagnosis. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just did not participate in it. And I remember right from early on, I thought to myself, okay, this has happened. I've got no control over it. It's not my fault. It's become my problem. And I just moved on with my life, adopted a healthy lifestyle, went into remission, and have been in remission for most of the time, except for a few relapses. And I'm blessed now because with treatments today, particularly a new treatment called CAR T-cell 4 therapy, I most likely will live a long time and end up dying of, old age or a heart attack. But for me, it's been a gift that's been badly wrapped, cancer. It's been a gift that's been badly wrapped. And when I say a gift that's been badly wrapped, it's taught me to have an attitude of gratitude. Because I think sometimes when things are going good and there's nothing to worry about, we seem to sweat the small stuff. And the gift for me of cancer is that I'm able to look at things in their proper perspective. I've also learned that every time I've had a major crisis, being a relapse or the death of my brother, that storm that comes into your life, the storm that you enter, the thing that happens is the person that enters the storm and the person that comes out of the storm is a different person. That is in fact the purpose of the storm. So I have to say to you, I'm extremely happy, even though with everything that's happened, because I can't help it. I mean, I just look around out there, right? I look around there, and I think to myself, by the way, what do you think the chances of being born are? Does anyone want to have a go at what the chances of being born, like conceived and coming onto the planet?
Close to infinite. Billion.
1 in 400 trillion. That's you've already won the lotto like big time, right? If you think about it, you already won the lotto big time, right? That you're actually a living thing on this planet. Like you are so lucky. You're so lucky. Like, you know, there's so many other, how do I say this without sounding crass? So many other sperms did not work out, right? They just sort of disappeared, right? So, and think about it. What if you came onto the planet? What if you came onto the planet as a tree? What's the centre here? What's the centre called?
A fair.
Yeah. A fair. Okay. So what if you came? What if you came onto the planet as a tree? You're a fucking tree there. Right? You wake up, morning. What are we doing? What am I doing? I'm sitting outside a fair. That's fucking usual every day, right? You look at the other tree and you think to yourself, what are your plans today? Well, what plans is there? Like, I'm stuck on a tree. I can't go anywhere, right? And I think that sometimes human beings sort of get into this victim mentality and they forget that you've actually got choices in life. And I want to remind you, things get better by choice, not by chance. I think it's important you understand that. Things get better by choice, not by chance. I also know that when I speak to people at a conference, even a workshop like this where there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, I'll just say to you that my experience is that there's always a small group of people that are going through suffering. They're going through what I call the black swan. The black swan is a term that came about when the English went to Australia and they landed in Perth. And what happened is they saw a black swan. And they were really confused because up until that time, The only swans they'd ever seen were white swans. So when they got to Perth and they saw this black swan, it sort of thought, shit, how can that be right? Swans are not black. Now, if you Google black swan meaning, it says an unforeseen event with significant consequences. And for me, a black swan is something that happens in your life that you never see the world the same way ever again. For some people, it's a divorce. They've been betrayed by someone that they trusted and they realised that person had been lying to them. For other people, it's the death of someone in their family. For other people, it's actually a financial breakdown. They've run out of money, they're living beyond their means. For other people, it's they get a phone call and a doctor says, you need to come in straight away. There's something we need to talk about. What I'm going to say to you is this. If you're lucky enough, by the way, a show of hands, who has had a black swan in their life? Okay, so most people. And those of you that haven't put your hand up, I'm just letting you know, giving you the heads up, preempting it, factor it in. If you haven't had one yet, it's fucking coming, right? It's called life. It's called life, right? And for me, you know, nothing summed it up better than Mike Tyson in one of his last fights, the boxer. He got punched out and, you know, he falls on the ground. The fight's over and Mike Tyson is sitting down, you know, on his chair and there's blood pouring off his face. And some media guy gets this microphone and says, Mike, what happened? And Mike Tyson is in a daze and he goes, Mike, you're in the best form of your life. Mentally, physically, you are odds-on favourite to win. What was your plan today, Mike? And Mike Tyson just looks up. He said, my plan? Everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face. I don't even think he realised how profound that is. And I'm going to say to you, punches are coming left, right and centre. But I just hope that you don't take a soft punch and make it a big punch. Because I can't help it. In the world of real estate, we go from the heights of exhilaration to the depths of depression in 24 hours. Hands up. You know what it's like? Buyer, they make an offer, it's accepted, you're pumped, excited. Yes, we got it away. Go home. I sold that eventually. And then what happens is, you know, 2 days later, you realise, shit, nothing's happening. You ring them up, ring up the buyer. The buyer doesn't respond. You leave a message, they don't call back. And you think, shit, okay, that's not feeling good. But let's just leave it at that. No news at the moment. It's better than bad news, okay? Let's leave it. And then eventually they ring you up 2 days later and they say, hey, I've been meaning to ring you, Tom. Firstly, I just want to thank you so much. You've been so wonderful. You can just have to feel it coming slowly, right? You know what I mean? Right? And then in one conversation, you just realise that you've lost a $10,000 or $15,000 or $12,000 commission. And I'm going to tell you that that is life. You're going to go from the heights of exhilaration to the depths of depression. Some people say to me, oh, in my office it happens every 5 minutes, Tom, you know. So all I'm going to say to you is that, you know, real estate for me is 80% psychology and only 20% mechanics. It really is. And success is an inside job. I can't tell you that when I look at people that are successful in real estate, I notice that, number one, they seem to have more conversations than anyone else in the market. They're not these keyboard warriors. You know all these new young agents? Oh, I sent out 40,000 emails. Like, seriously, people don't read emails. You're looking for impact. That's what you're looking for. A couple of other things I noticed that top real estate agents do. They're extremely good at explaining things in 50 words, not 1,000 words. Yeah. You know some agents, they use 10 minutes to describe one thing. Like they go over, oh, like let's pretend, anyone got an overpriced listing here at the moment? You know? Okay. I think you're all full of shit. I think most people have got lists, like most listings are a little bit over the market, right? So here's how it works. You go over to the owner and you say, hey, yeah, look, you know, at the moment, buyers sort of, yeah, like, yeah, they're sort of, yeah, we don't have anyone there. And they really struggle for 5 minutes to sort of say to someone, hey, you've got to take your price down. Hey, let me just give you a short piece of dialogue that I've used consistently in my life that creates price alignments. Paul, he's the vendor. Paul, at the moment, I want to let you know that your home is on the market, not in the market. It's really interesting. It's actually sitting on top of it, not in the market. So everyone's ignoring it. And what I'd like to do is suggest that we realign the value of your home by 5%. Because I'd rather be sitting with you in 2 weeks, rejecting 5 offers, than having no offers. And I can't tell you the amount of people that just say, yeah, I get it. Because I didn't say drop your home by $40,000. And I didn't say you have to even sell it. I've actually said realign the value of your property by 5% because I'd rather be talking to you in 2 weeks, rejecting 5 offers than having no offers. Something to work with. I will urge you, one of the biggest problems that I see real estate agents don't know how to handle is price at the listing presentation. They don't know how to handle price, right? So here's what the typical agent does. They go on over, how much are you having to get for your home? Oh, well, you know, you're the expert, you tell us. And because you never did a really good previous conversation like I did, like I sort of know what Stephanie wants for her property now because I've sort of sussed her out. But the average agent goes along, oh, what do you want? Oh, we want 600. Yeah, that's what we want. And then you think, oh, yeah, I reckon, yeah, look, I think, yeah, nice home, we'll give it a try, yeah. And then 3 weeks later, you're ringing them up. Oh, look, a lot of the buyers are saying that the bedrooms are a bit too small. Like, hello, the bedrooms were the same fucking size when you saw it. Right? Oh, it's on a busy road. I think the road's a bit busy. Well, it was the same road you came when you looked at it the first day, right? So I think that really good estate agents know how to tiptoe around price and change the conversation and process. So let me just give you some of the scripts and dialogues that, you know, I would be inclined to be using when you go into a listing presentation. And I'd say, hey, look, Stephanie, you know, you mentioned a figure, you know, around 500, 550, and I've got to tell you, I've brought along 4 or 5 comparable sales for us to look at. What I'd like to say to you is that there are 3 prices in real estate. There's an emotional figure, there's a probable figure, and there is a bargain hunter's figure. And what I'd like to say to you, at my agency, we're going to aim to try and get you an emotional figure. And I'm going to say to you that we could spend the next half an hour debating exactly what your home's worth, but we still wouldn't get it right. So I'd rather focus on the process, because it's the process and not the promise of a price that's going to get you top dollar. Can I go through that process? That is more or less the conversation that you've got to be going through. So I'll repeat it. There are 3 prices: emotional, probable, bargain hunter. My job is to try and create a bit of a buyer frenzy, get people to fight over it, because competition is what wins the World Cup, and competition gets us good money in real estate. So if it's okay with you, Stephanie, can we focus on the process and not the promise of a price? Because that's what's going to get us top dollar. And some other pieces of dialogue that I think you need to master is, yeah, look, I know, and everyone thinks that they've got the best home. I'd say, listen, you've got a wonderful home, but I would like to remind you that you're on the market in competition, not in isolation. And one of my jobs is to make sure that we outmarket the competition. And one of the things that I'm going to do is tell you that there are 4 buyers in the marketplace that are going to buy this property. Let me explain who they are. There's the local buyer, there's the out-of-area buyer. The local buyer lives here now. The out-of-area buyer is coming from Auckland, maybe from another city. Then you've got what I call the passive buyer. And the passive buyer is not even on anyone's database. They're not on TradeMe. They're not on any website. And then you've got the active buyer. And the active buyer is everywhere. Everyone's got this buyer because they basically decided to become New Zealand's #1 registered valuer. They're looking at everything, right? So what I've got to say to you is my job as a real estate agent is to try and find not the first buyer, but the best buyer. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to go out there and we're going to put a big net in the ocean. We're going to put out a net. We're not going to go there fishing with a fishing line. We're going to get a big net in the ocean and pull out all the tuna. Bit of the John West theory. What does John West do? They throw a net in, They pull out all the tuna, they keep the best, and they reject the rest. And that's what we're going to do in real estate for you. We're going to go out there and find it. However, I've got to let you know, for us to actually do that, we must actually go out there and market. And what I'd like to suggest to you is the way that we're going to go out and market is we're going to do the following things. We're going to go onto realestate.co, we're going to go onto TradeMe, and we're going to go onto our own website. This is called our Internet Intellect Marketing. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to go onto Facebook, Instagram, and put a video. Because what we clearly know is that there's a group of consumers that are not on websites. And what we want to do is hit that passive buyer. And that passive buyer, we're going to actually target them. Because the old way in real estate was called spray and pray, hope for the best. However, with Facebook, we've got this ability to turn around and say, we know that most of the buyers that are going to buy this property are coming from around 7 kilometres around the centre of Auckland. We're going to target with Facebook and hit those people. And we know that most people that buy property here are between 35 and 55. So we're going to target those people 35 to 55, and we're going to get those buyers. And then we're also going to put the property on our database. We're going to put a signboard. We're also going to ensure that we get a just listed letterbox drop. And I want you to understand that we've got to make sure that our online marketing and our offline marketing is in line. And I also want you to know that marketing works in combination, not in isolation. And this is what we've got to do. So, guys and girls, you've got to master the words. You've got to master the words. And my whole life is committed, like, you know, I'm 51 years of age. And I haven't had a great run with bloody cancer, but, you know, hopefully that's the end of that. But even if I live, well, I mean, what do people live to these days? 75, 80 maybe, right? 90, some live to 90. But, you know, if you look at the average age, guys, they're, you know, somewhere between 77, 82. If you've had a bit of a track record that hasn't been good and your body's been exploded with chemicals, you'll take another 5 years off that. So, hey, I'm already halfway past my life. Actually, more like 51, 80, 2/3. I'm heading home. I don't say this to scare anyone or to even scare myself. In fact, I am going to die. No one has not died, good. Like everyone dies. Right? And one of the things is when you get to an age where you realise, shit, I'm going to run out of, and I've got to tell you, I'm blessed. Like money's okay now. Money was a problem in my life. It was something that we didn't have. It was something that I envied, and it's something that I worked very, very hard to achieve. And money's okay now, and I'm going to run out of time before I run out of money in my life. And when you get to that stage, you begin to realise, how can I best leave a legacy, an impact? For me, it's to work with the real estate industries across, you know, Australasia and a lot in the UK. And it's why I set up the real estate gym, because I thought to myself, what's the fastest way I can impact the most amount of people, have an okay living, make it affordable? So I set up a thing called the real estate gym, which coaches agents on scripts, dialogues, templates. It gives them a blueprint, and that process of me interviewing agents for the last 10 years has given me a big insight as to why agents succeed and why they don't. It's like this big research and development thing that's been going on. And I can't help it, but I study that the best agents run an attraction business. They are able to actually have people come to them. And they do that by winning 3 interviews. The digital interview, which is TradeMe, realestate.co. The traditional interview, signboards, brochures, local print media, local press. And then the third one is, increasingly, the social media interview. What people are saying of you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta. And I have to say to you that out of all those 3, return of investment, dollar for dollar, at the moment, social media smashes everything. So I would urge you to do a few things on social, and what I thought I'd do is maybe just give you a simple template on what I believe is social media mastery in real estate. It's all on one template there, and here they are. The first thing I'd be doing is Facebook Live, get into the habit of doing it. The second one is Insta Live. The third one is Insta Story. The fourth one is Facebook Testimonials. The one I said, video vendor, yeah. LinkedIn, local community influencers. Like, you know, I would suggest that, you know, like if you look at the set and forget plan that, you know, Paul talked to you about, one of the set and forget plans would be that you would have in your 12-month plan that you would interview a local business owner in your community. And I'll just show you how powerful this is, right? This is what you do. What's the best cafe in this area? What's the name of it? There mustn't be many. But by the way, you know, in between, I left you, Paul, but why don't you go get us? I went up there, and Jono goes, mate, head up that way. There's a cafe up there, and fucking went up there for about a 3-minute walk. And when I got there, I looked at it, and I thought, okay. So I said to the lady, "Can I have?" She was a Chinese lady. Do you know her then? Or, no, I said, "Can I have a soy? Can I have a soy flat white, extra hot with one equal, please?" And she just looked at me and she goes, "I'll make you a cappuccino." I said, "You haven't got soy milk?" She goes, "No." I said, "Okay, I just have a black coffee." And then I went over to pay for it, and you know, first thing I did is, like, I paid for everything with my watch. You just do that, right? It's got the card. And I just went like that. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want to pay." She goes, "We don't pay like this." So the next thing I do is I pulled out my mobile phone, which has got the same thing. She goes, "Same problem." And then I sort of said, "Look, this is not meant to happen, right? You haven't got soy milk, it's not working here. I'm in a mental cul-de-sac and I can't get out. Let me think. What was I saying? Coffees, local cafes. So let's assume that the local cafe that's really good here is called Espresso Galleria. Just come up with that name. And the owner of that is called David, right? What I would suggest you do is, you know, you do a quick interview for 2 minutes. "David, how long's your cafe been going here? What's the busiest time in this cafe? What's the #1 selling coffee? What beans do you use? What do you love most about your business?" That goes for 1 minute. It would be as simple as that. Then, off camera, in another shoot, you'd say, "It's Tom here from, you know, XY Real Estate. Last month there was a total of 44 properties that got sold in our area. The highest price was $870, the lowest price was $270. At the moment, the best price point in the marketplace is $600 to $700. If you're thinking of selling, we're more than happy to give you an updated view on what's happening in the marketplace." And then all you do is you get that video, and in your 12-month plan, set and forget, you just actually have that go out. But here's the interesting thing. You know that video, guess what happens? David from the cafe gets that video and he puts that on his social media site. And guess what? All the people that actually follow that site see you for the last minute. And that's how you win in the new world, the connection economy. You break into other people's communities. So just imagine having a plan where you do the cafe in February, the hairdresser in March, the lawyer in April, the doctor, the school, and all you do is you get through your community, because I've got to say to you, in 2019, the agent that wins out is the community agent. The agent that becomes the ecosystem that joins the community together. That's who wins out. So stop posting the me type marketing and start posting the community type marketing. It is going to make such a difference in your life. And what you'll do is you'll end up becoming their agent before they need an agent. So when they need an agent, they have got an agent. That's what will end up happening. So the other things there, that's the community page. I would urge you, like, you know, I've got, you know, like, I'm so proud, 85 of the top 100 agents in Australia are real estate gym members. Last night there was awards across Australia called the Rate My Agent Awards. Every person in there are gym members, and they use a system. Shane Beaumont, a young kid, $1 million, and he's, in Perth, average price 400 or 500. He uses a community page as his biggest source. So he's got his area that he services is called Gosnells. So he doesn't actually use his own name, he uses Gosnells. And what he does is he keeps posting community stuff on the Gosnells page. So he has become the source of information on Gosnells page. See, they're not looking for a real estate agent, they're looking for a good human being to show up. That's what they want. And then there's trust in the relationship, then a transaction takes place. And I'd urge you to do that. A couple of other things is property boost videos. I think that, look, the thing with just listed videos on social media, they're not going to replace TradeMe or realestate.co. But what I think are good about property videos is if you're in the video, people get to see a bit of your authenticity and you're actually showcasing who you are as a person. So just imagine if you did 100 listings a year, right? And you got 5,000 views, that's like 500,000 views. They see you. It's Tom here from XY Real Estate. That is incredible branding. And I'd urge you to look at that. And as I finish off here, I'm just going to tell you, a quick story about this guy here called Oscar Cortez. In 1715, what he did is, he was a Spanish conqueror, and he went over and invaded Mexico, because Mexico had all the treasure. And what he did is he thought, we'll go and invade Mexico and take all their treasure. He took 600 soldiers, 20 horses, 20 boats, and they went over and sailed across to Mexico. Once they got to Mexico, they unloaded all their food, all their belongings. And once everyone was off the boats, he looked and he turned around and he said to them, "Burn the boats!" And people were shocked. What? He said, "Burn the boats!" Anyway, they fucking liked the boats. And that was the story that explained what is known as today as the point of no return. At that point, he essentially said to everyone, there's no plan B. We can't retract from where we are. We either win or we die here. And I have to say to you, 31 years in real estate, this is my 31st year in real estate. I think that a lot of people, what they need to do to actually have the best year of their life in real estate is burn the boats. Burn the boats. Turn around and say, fuck it. Enough of me being a plan B person. I'm sick and tired of not bringing the best version of myself to work and life each day. I've been blessed to know that mortality is not maybe, but it's 100% and it's coming. So, I always have a belief in my head that my future is going to be bigger than my past. And it doesn't matter whether you're 80 or whether you're 8 or whether you're 18 or 38, having a belief that the future is going to be bigger than the past is one of the most important beliefs you can have as a human being. And I get it. I understand 100%. But sometimes shit's happening and people have got shit going on in their lives. Sometimes it's as simple as depression for no reason. People do have chemical depression or anxiety. And all I want to say to you is take it from someone that has walked the path of suffering, pretty much walking through it now. And that is what keeps me going, is knowing that difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. I know that. I've walked that path. I also going to say to you is one of the affirmations that helps me so much in my life is knowing that my current situation is not my final destination. It helps me to know that things might be shit now, but what's coming is better than what's gone. And if you've had a big setback in your life, I can say to you, I've learned that the comeback can be much bigger than the setback. So I'm asking you, as you leave here today, and you know, Paul has done something intelligent today, and that is to aggregate an audience, give them value. Have you received value today? Show of hands. Yeah. Okay. With a view that he gets your eyeballs and begin a relationship with you. And for some people, you might turn around and say, I love this whole thing, but I'm going to give it a crack myself. Absolutely try it. I've always learnt in my life I would rather outsource my weakness and work my strengths. So I've always been the sort of person that would just go off and get other people to do stuff that wasn't my unique ability. You've got to spend your life focusing on your unique ability. What is your unique ability? The stuff that you're good at and you like doing. And then learn to outsource the other stuff. Because ultimately, if you're a real estate person sitting in this room, your number one job is to be a deal maker, talking to the marketplace. And I don't want you to be sitting in an office, establishing yourself in the office. I want you to establish yourself in the marketplace. That's what you've got to do. What a wonderful opportunity in 2019, now that a marketplace is easing off, where all of a sudden, if you're good, you can stand out. Because when the market's hot, everyone can sort of get by, you know? You go up, put the keys in the door, they look at it, they fall in love with it, they buy it, because they're scared that they're going to miss out because the market's hot. But all of a sudden now, you've got to be a pro, and I'm asking you to go pro. My final thing I'm going to say to you is that when I first got diagnosed as a 35-year-old in 2006, and I was sitting there in the chemo chair at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, I had a man come and sit next to me. And for the next hour, as chemo was going through my veins, he'd opened up this broadsheet newspaper called The Australian and had it just open pretty much all over my face, and he was reading it. And we got into a chit-chat. And we talked about rugby, soccer, politics, cars. And at one point, after an hour, I noticed that he wasn't getting any treatment. He had just sat himself down. And I said, are you waiting for someone? He said, no. I said, are you getting treatment? He goes, no. I said, how come you're here? He says, I thought I'd just pop in. He goes, I do that occasionally. I said, you're a volunteer, right? He goes, not an official one. I said, it's been good chatting with you. And I sort of just leaned over that way. And he said, do you want me to leave, mate? I said, no. You can stay here, talk to someone else, talk to that guy. He goes, have I upset you? I said, no, mate, you haven't upset me. I said, I just want some privacy. He goes, okay, I'll go now. He goes, sorry if I've said anything to upset you. I said, you haven't upset me. I said, you just got to know that I have a perfect life, and at Friday, 2 days ago, in 1 minute, my life turned upside down. I have no cancer in my family, and I've been told that I have incurable lymphatic cancer. You come along here and you expect me that I'm going to have this free-flowing conversation with you all day? I said, sorry, mate. He goes, I'll go. And he got up, and he said, Tom, I might never see you ever again. I don't know. But please remember, the future is going to be better than the present. And you've got the power to make it so. God bless you. He walked, I looked up, he was gone. I've never ever seen that guy ever again. But I never forgot what he said that Monday in March in 2006. The future is going to be better than the present, and you have the power to make it so. Guys and girls, can I say to you, as I finish off here this morning, the most important two beliefs that you can have as a human being for success is the future is going to be better than the present, and you've got the power to make it so. And I'm telling you straight, never ever let your personal history get in the way of your destiny. Who you are is not who you can be. Thank you so much.